We're going to start off with what was billed as going to be like the biggest horror movie of the year, the greatest thing since Silence of the Lambs. We're going to talk about Longlegs, directed by Oz Perkins, the son of the late, great Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates himself. Yeah, there's a little bit of a plot framing similarity between this and Silence of the Lambs. You have Micah Monroe playing Lee Harker, a young FBI agent who's called in on this, massive string of serial murder-suicides that have plagued the Portland rural areas in Oregon since the 70s. And there's this whole thing about like satanic cults and Zodiac style coding and messages where all the murders and all the suicides are tied to this devil worshiper called Longlegs, played by Nicolas Cage. There's a lot of fun ways that they connect the scenes to each other. The editing is really well done in this, like, standout achievement as far as that is concerned. I think it should get Academy consideration just for that. It's the whole thing where she's trying to piece together how all these murders happen, and of course, she herself might be connected to them in ways she doesn't realize, given her own past, given her ultra-religious mother, played by Alicia Witt, who's a veteran of the horror genre. Watching the actual chase, for lack of a better term, that's a lot of fun. Watching Nicolas Cage continue to earn that Lifetime Achievement Award we gave him earlier this year. I just absolutely love, first of all, the makeup job that's done on him. He's so pasty and ghoulish and weird looking that one of the best scenes is that he's just walking around in a hardware store picking up supplies and weirdly flirting with the clerk. And it's just creepy as all hell, but it's in a way that only Cage can pull it off. Anywhere else, you would think this was like a Tommy Wiseau performance, but here it's just pure distilled Cage. There's scratching of the surface when it comes to the actual motives behind all these deaths. This whole idea of damnation being masked in the salvation of the church. I wish it would have been explored a little bit more. I wish there was a little bit more grounding in reality rather than, blaming it on the occult. But for the most part, it's really well made and really well done. I don't think it's to the level of Silence of the Lambs because Micah Monroe, she plays Lee Harker well, but she's not Clarice Starling. She's just not. Clarice is put into the situation, and then she does the work. She forms the rapport with Hannibal Lecter to get to this end solution where she goes after Buffalo Bill. Whereas with Harker, a lot of the stuff happens to and around her rather than her initiating. She's not given as much agency as Starling was. And as fun as Cage is as Longlegs, you're never going to get to Anthony Hopkins level. But for what it is, I was pleasantly surprised at how funny it was. There are some legitimate thrills in it and very few jump scares, which is always a plus in my book.
I was going to ask you, does he go full Cage?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to see Cage just doing the kind of crazy that only he can do, yeah, this is probably the best example in a good long while.
Yeah, I've also heard it's pretty scary. Like, it's genuinely scary.
There are some truly disturbing moments. I don't know if I was ever actually scared or truly worried, because again, the tension is rooted in satanic ritual rather than anything that could be grounded in reality. So that I can only suspend my disbelief so far. But again, for what it is, it works to tremendous effect. And you can see how far the apple fell from the tree with Oz Perkins. Again, Norman Bates' son helming this project, and you can see those little nods to Hitchcock and to his father's work peppered throughout here. Never being truly derivative, just saying, I know where my bread's buttered, I know where I came from, I'm not going to pretend I don't.
This is the BTRP Media Network.